Good morning, everybody. This is I believe we're starting the IDA meeting to start with. Called to order at 3 minutes after 9. First thing on the agenda is approve the minutes from the February 10th board meeting.
Move to approve the minutes.
Moved by Coop.
Second.
Motion made and carried. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next up is the annual audit management letter and posting of Paris. Need approval.
Thank you.
Bob's gonna talk through the
To go
audit.
through the executive summary, I would point out, in your packet, it's a complete review. On page 1 is the independent audit report and the opinion on the engagement. I'm going to read that paragraph. We have audited the accompanying financial statements of Seneca County Industrial Development Agency, the agency component unit of Seneca County, New York, and as of for the year ended December 31st, 2025, and the related notes to the financial statement, which collectively comprise the agency's basic financial statements as listed in a table of contents. In our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the financial position of the agency as of December 31st, 2025, and the changes in the financial position or applicable cash flows thereof for the year ended in accordance with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States of America. That's your opinion letter. Okay. This would be referred to as an unqualified opinion. All right. Looking at the executive summary on page 1 is a statement of net position. This is on a consolidated basis. For assets, total assets measured $3,452,317. Deferred outflows $94,371. Liabilities in total $180,724. Deferred inflows of resources $17,481. And your total net position is $3,348,483. When I compare that to 2024, the total net position at the end of December of that year was $3,593,605. The net difference between the 2 years is the $245,122. That's a decrease from the previous year. Changes in net position for year ending December 31st, 2025 to 2024. Operating revenues for 2025, $193,698. Operating expenses, $544,671. Operating loss, again for 2025, is $350,973. Non-operating revenues, $105,851. Total changes in net position, $245,122. That's a negative change. The net position beginning of the year was $3,593,605. The ending net position is $3,345,483. Again, this ties back to the net position that's reflected in the statement of net position. The net difference between the 2 years, 2024 and 25, and operating income. Operating income was $52,607, higher in 25 compared to 24. Operating expenses were $44,000 more in 25 compared to 2024. Non-operating income and loss was $61,000 higher in 2025 compared to 24, and the net change in net position between the 2 years was $70,089. That is an improvement between the 2 periods. Going on to page 2. What we have here is the operating fund. And this is the balance sheet for the period ending again December 25. Total assets were $2,278,000 compared to $2,514,000 in 2024. That's a net difference of $236,000. That's a decrease. Deferred outflows $97,371 compared to $121,834, a net difference of $27,463. On the liability side, total liabilities $180,724 compared to $143,550, a net change of $37,174. The referred inflows of resources $17,481 compared to $70,392, a net change of $52,911. In the net position in the overall, $2,174,761 compared to $2,422,567, a difference of $247,815. So the next page is at page 3. Operating funds summarize changes in net position. Again, for 2025, operating, in this case, loss was $353,664 compared to $366,578 in 2024, a variance of $12,917. The non-operating income was $105,851 at 2025 compared to $44,135 in 2024, a difference of $61,716. Changes in net position in the overall, a minus $247,813 25 compared to a minus $322,443 in 24, a variance of $74,630. The net position year end was $2,174,763 at the end of December 25 compared to $2,422,576 24, a variance in this case of $247,813, which is reflected in right there. Revolving loan fund, which is a separate disclosure on that particular segment of the IDA balance sheet. Total assets were $1,173,722 compared to $1,171,030 for 2024, a variance of $2,692. The net position was $1,173,722 for 2025 compared to $1,171,030 for 2024. Again, a variance of $2,692. On the revenue side, for 2025, the federal fund program was $5,041 compared to $93.07 for previous year, a variance of $4,266. Operating expenses $2,350 of 2025 compared to $2,075 for 2024, a difference of $275. The net change in net position for 2025 was $2,691 compared to $7,232 for 2024, a variance of $4,041. The ending net position is $1,173,720 compared to $1,171,029 for 24, a net change of $2,691. Okay. Are there any questions regarding financials as presented in the summary report? Sarah, do you want to add any comments here?
Not really. Obviously, we had a net loss for the year, like the previous year. Fortunately, it was smaller. We did have slightly more agency fee revenue coming in and an increased contribution from the county. Those did offset to some extent, the loss of the Del Lago annual payment that used to come into us, that does not anymore. Other than that, you know, everything was pretty straightforward financially in terms of the IDA for the year.
I would also point out that the Paris report totals are included in the consolidated statements. This has to be reported by the end of March to the state. We have those numbers now. So,
Yeah, so at the back of the actual full audit document that you have, the long one that's stapled together, you'll see the Paris worksheets. That includes all of the reporting for the individual projects that are paying pilots or receiving sales tax exemptions or anything actively at the moment. So you can see what they've reported for job numbers in the year. And we are gonna be, now that we've gotten all those in, we will be going through them and looking at any that may have missed their targets, and we'll be sending out letters and asking for some explanation to that regard. So you can expect more on that probably at our May meeting.
there's a lot of numbers here, folks. And thanks for putting this together.
Thanks.
I think a motion should be accepted to approve the 2025 audit.
Motion by second.
So moved.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Actually, I'm not voting.
Does that need to be a roll call?
Yeah, we're gonna do a roll call.
Okay, sorry.
Mr. Guthrie,
Yes.
Mr. Heisen,
Yes.
Mr. Cure,
Yes.
Mr. Lot,
Yes.
Mr. Shipley,
Yes.
Ms. Weiss,
Yes.
Mr. Bruce Murray, Mr. Tom Murray, and Ms. Capelli absent. Motion carried.
All right. Next up's approval of the ABO Measurement Report Review.
So this is something that we do every year. For each of the organizations, it just lays out a reminder of what our mission statement is as an agency, what our key measurements are in terms of our success, you know, when reporting to the state. It's this one document that has blue writing on it. If anybody's looking for it, it's near the end of the packet, or it should be. Nothing changed with our mission statement this year, if I'm not mistaken. I think we did the housing update the year before, but that is in here. Our measurements for 2025 for the IDA are the number of projects supported with private capital leverage and the local jobs supported, retained, and created. And all of that information is obviously tracked in our Paris spreadsheets. Stakeholders of the authority include the Board of Supervisors, who appoints this Board of Directors, members of the IDA, county and all municipalities, school districts, businesses, residents, property owners within the county. We are here for the benefit of the municipalities and school districts, as well as the residents and property owners, and our customers, which you all should know by now, but they include the owners, operators, and developers of all of these industries here. So industrial, manufacturing, warehousing, commercial, research, housing, and recreational facilities. We supported 29 active projects, so that's the number that is reported on Paris. That is obviously not 29 projects that were approved this year. As we know, that number was quite low, but there were 25 that were reported to Paris that have leveraged $638 million of private investment. They have retained 2,080 full-time equivalent jobs and created 9 full-time equivalent construction jobs. 687 jobs were created as a result of public support. Some of those numbers are underreported because of some of the pilots that we have, so like the outlet mall, and some of the other like mixed use, Waterloo downtown properties, those types of facilities where you have tenants in the building, but they're not, our pilot is with the developer. We, you know, get the reports from the developer. They don't always have the most accurate data in terms of tenants. So some of our job numbers get underreported. And then on the back side, this is a governance certification, so this has already gone to the governance committee. Board of directors has responded yes, that they've read and understood the mission of the authority, that it's this board of directors that appoints the management of the organization. Our governance committee annually reviews our management and recommends appointments. We do that every year in January. And that the board provides oversight, sets strategy, management does day to day. And then an acknowledgement that everybody read these. So that's the measurement report. We will need a motion on approving that, unless anybody has questions or changes.
One question, what's the ABO stand for?
Authorities Budget Office, that is a fantastic question. They are the state agency that oversees, well, there are a few state agencies that oversee IDAs, but they are one of the ones that does that most directly with ethics training, all of the executive session
Is that
rulings.
DiNapoli's office?
No, they're not part of the comptroller's office. They're separate
Okay.
altogether.
No.
Similar idea though.
Somebody like to make a motion?
So move. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we need a roll call, Kelly? or-
Oh, no roll call, just voice vote, yeah.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, Shipley, you're up next.
I have three updates for the board in terms of the Chamber of Commerce. The first one, and we have talked about this in the past for the IDA session, but the National Civics Bee. We have a date now, we have a place, which is all good from the last time I probably reported this. Saturday, April 25th at Northeast College from 10 to 1. This is the first year, we've hosted the regional finals in our community, and we are welcoming students and their families from all across Western and Central New York. We're the only regional site from Utica West. So we're really excited about that. In fact, I have a walkthrough later today on that. We have a tourism strategic plan that we have been working on for months. Our board of directors, both Bob and Sarah, sit on that. We have been working on this for months. We identified probably the foremost authority expert in the industry for this. His company's out of North Carolina. We're going to be unveiling that on April 22nd. We've had multiple public workshops on this. We've received a lot of input. We brought the strategic plan crew throughout the community, met with business owners, attractions, done a lot of work on this. This is not a marketing plan. This is not saying how much money we put into digital advertising, where we put into digital advertising. This is about a long-term economic development tool for the tourism industry. And we're going to be unveiling that to our chamber board on April 22nd. We're making it available. We're trying to figure something out with the Board of Supervisors because we would like to share it with the Board of Supervisors as well around that time. So excited about that. I think it's a solid plan. It's one that we've gotten a lot of feedback on already, and we'll continue to take that feedback. And then the last item that I wanted to update people on, and this is a newer initiative that we started this year as well. It's called Tourism Mobile Office Hours. We are taking our marketing team on the road into every town in municipality in the community. And we're really trying to have a conversation and engage residents, business leaders, government officials about the state of tourism in their community. And so whether it's things that are challenges, things that are trends, what they think should be promoted more or under promoted, really we are coming in with an open set of ears and really trying to see how our efforts to date are matching up with what the community's interests are. And so we've got our next one that's going to be next Tuesday. If anyone is interested, it's going to be in Fayette, the town of Fayette. It's going to be at 6 o'clock. So it's a time where people hopefully can get without some commitments from work or otherwise. So 6 o'clock at Ventosa Vineyards. Next Tuesday is our Fayette. But like I said, we're going to be taking this to every town. We've already started this. But we'll be going to every town in Seneca County.
How long is the presentation?
It's really not a presentation, Ben. We have a couple slides to give sort of an overview. The rest of the time, the rest of the hour slot, I'd say the majority of it, 45 minutes or more, is devoted to listening. And we've got an online polling tool that we use to pull some things out of people to spark some conversation, but there's very little presentation involved with this. This is what is on the minds of our residents, our stakeholders, our constituency.
I guess I was confusing it with the strategies presentation.
Yeah, that one will be more of a presentation for sure.
But that comes later.
That comes later, yes.
Okay, any questions for Bob? No, Mr. Heisen?
For me, no, nothing. I wasn't prepared for this.
You haven't got any gossip or anything?
No, I can't tell you that's executive session stuff, though. I can't tell you.
We promise not to tell anybody. If you wanna tell us something. No, okay, thank you anyhow. In the future, if you want to give a report, fine. If you don't, that's fine too. Okay, next up, Mr. Hewitt.
Yes, sir. It's pretty much the same as most months. I got about 7 visits with businesses in these clusters. If we recall, we've identified these 3 clusters that we're targeting. It's the craft beverage, wine, the semiconductor industry, and ag and food processing. More of the same, really. You know, I can go over it. You guys have it there in front of you. I believe you have the report printed out. So you know, you can go ahead and check the quick summary. You know, cross-cutting themes: workforce shortages, housing constraints, rising costs, operational stability prioritized over expansion. Is kind of a fancy way of saying you're not expanding. You know, the people I've met with, anyways, just the 7 that I met with this month.
Has there been any conversation about data centers in our area?
I haven't heard anything about data centers. That wouldn't be in these conversations. These are, you know, wineries and farms, mostly that I'm talking with. But I mean, data centers would be. There has been with the state, sort of, like in the past, right, Sarah? I mean, we spoke with some folks that were looking for sites for data centers.
Every once in a while it comes up as a topic. We've had, usually the depot is sort of the place that people think about for that. Power constraints generally make that site non-viable, and so, you know, it doesn't even most oftentimes get to a site visit, and if it does, it never goes beyond that.
Yeah, sadly. But you know, you never know. Keep your fingers crossed. It could happen. You know, things could develop down there. I don't know, solar. I don't know. You know, the state's looking at other power options, but I mean, you know, those things like nuclear are going to take decades, right? It's going to take forever to get the power. Anyways, that's as far as the BRNE. BRNE, guys, is mostly about relationship building. I'm out there just saying hello. We're the IDA. This is what we're here to do. This is what we offer, and you know, spread the good word, kind of thing. And that actually brings me to, I just tagged on a little extra here on the end. Basically, I've been trying to meet with county legislators. Mr. Heisen and I will be reaching out to you soon enough. I'm just giving them the, you know, the what is the IDA pitch, basically letting them know what we are, what we're about. why we're necessary for the county, right? We are necessary, everybody else has one, right? And we need to compete, not say like poach from them, but we need to compete with other counties for development in our county. So I am, I'm kind of selling that message to them and letting them understand that, and hopefully we can file some data, once I get everybody. Right now, I just focused on Seneca Falls. There's still one more I have to meet with. I met with Frank Schmitter and Jennifer Plinsky-Wick. They actually echoed some of the same concerns, and I think I even found a little common ground with them. Yes?
Did you get with the birdseed factory? Did you talk to them at all?
Pine Tree
Pine
Farms.
Tree.
Pine Tree Farms, not yet. I should reach out to them.
We've reached out to them.
Sarah has,
I haven't heard anything recently.
Because that manager was saying he wanted in the worst way to double his production, and he just couldn't get the Pennsylvania parent company to say yes.
Yeah, I recall, and after you and I had that conversation, we reached out, and he kind of went quiet on us.
Well, I think he didn't have the authority to
Yeah.
do too much is the problem.
That's unfortunately a lot of what happens around here with businesses that are not locally owned.
Yeah.
Is you'll see the local management is always talking about, oh, we'd love to expand, we'd love to do this, but they don't have the decision-making authority or the financial authority to actually make those decisions.
What place are you talking about?
Pine Tree Farms down in Interlaken,
Oh.
they do the birdseed
Okay, yeah,
manufacturing.
they were here years ago on a
Yes,
presentation.
yes, they did. And they paid it off.
Right. So as far as the legislators' meetings went, kind of the same themes, really. Workforce housing was there. Municipal capacity plays an important role, and I think that was more like, what do they have the capacity for as far as helping developers along? Project momentum influenced by funding cycles and external conditions. Private investment, right? I think the big bullet here is continued coordination between agencies will support more effective economic development outcomes. Meaning that's exactly what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to get out there and figure out what's going on, if there's any sort of miscommunications going on, and just get out there and help folks out. Oh, and actually, that I apologize, I skipped ahead. That was with my meeting with SFDC. So that's the Seneca Falls Development Corporation. They kind of do what we do on a local level. And I had a very productive conversation there. The idea was to kind of create some kind of roadmap for businesses that are coming to town that want to develop. Because a lot of folks, as we've heard in the past, complain about the cumbersome regulations, and I bring in a permit, and then you tell me to go get 3 other things, and then I've missed the meeting cycle, so now I got to wait a month to get this approved, and then I hand in that paperwork, and then it comes back. So.
So, Hochul's office put out a request for people to identify that kind of boondoggle, and
Right.
that they could work on it?
That's 110% what I'm trying to do, is find those specifics, but it's
That's
starting.
what it takes.
I'm starting at,
Because I hear that vague conversation all the time. Oh, it's burdensome regulation. I said, well, which one?
yes.
And everybody goes, well, it's all of them.
It's you're 100% correct, and I've heard that honestly for the last 20 years in various capacities. It's tough to drill these things down, because it's different for everybody, and all these towns are different, and they all have their own constraints and issues and things like that. But it's a Herculean task, honestly. I'm hoping to start small, and find a model, find somebody that's doing it right, maybe, and copy them.
So we'll get you a ball cap that says Hercules.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and that's all I have. I added that just for something. I mean, it's just that's what I'm doing. I'm out there trying to share the good word with the community. But
Does Seneca Falls have prospects?
I was just gonna actually mention that myself, Ben. Have we, David, have you or Sarah, have we been engaging the Bonifiglia Foundation, Family Foundation?
Yes.
yeah,
Because I know that it's more nonprofit, maybe some tourism-related projects, but it seems like they have they have a real will and means in order to
Yeah.
help move at
It's
least
like
the Seneca
right-
Falls community forward. And
Yeah,
so-
we've spoken with them and we
Just
talked
to
about
align on the same
the
page.
hotel that they're,
Yeah.
I don't know, that's public, I believe.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we've spoken with them about that. We've helped them as much as we can, as far as identifying, like months ago, I was, maybe last year.
It was a year ago.
Yeah, a year ago. I was working on finding them, you know, developers for things like that. You know,
Any updates from them?
honestly, I think Bruce has been reaching out directly with them. So I mean, maybe when he's back next month, he might be the guy to ask.
Okay.
He's been taking a personal interest in that.
Where's the location of that?
It's gonna be what was it, next to the Women's History Museum, there on the canal.
The Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame,
Oh, the Hall of Fame. I apologize. Yeah, there's two different, right, the
it's
museums.
a property that's Jason doing.
Oh, across the canal then.
He
Yeah,
owns
along the canal.
that parcel.
It's not the buildings that are still
Right,
standing
yeah.
for the Seneca Falls.
And as we know, the other side of that was just
Yeah.
all redone, right? And
Mhm.
they have the nice seawall there. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Mhm.
There's like a playground and other things in there. It looks pretty good. I believe that was DRI money or grant money, grant funding that did that. But-
Part of the $10 million.
Right, right. So that would tie in nicely, you know, for the view and everything. You know, a nice.
I think the playground's kind of close to the canal.
Yeah. Somebody gonna fall in?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to pay for a lifeguard. My daughter is a lifeguard certified, so if you're looking for one, she needs a job.
So
All right.
Dave, has anybody reached out to the Farrar family to see what the future is where the lumber hardware store was that burned down?
We've talked to them, after the fire happened, they had reached out to us for some assistance. Unfortunately, the New York State statute regarding, incentives for retail business prevents us from being able to provide incentives to a company like Ferrara Lumber.
But we can still give them guidance.
Yes, and we did at the time, push them toward, the county had the Grow Seneca funds, there was SBDC that does, you know, counseling and things. So we did connect them and provide them with, you know, referrals to resources in addition to the New York State Real Property Tax Abatement, which is through 485B. So they did have some of that. Unfortunately, we weren't able to offer anything,
You found some
know,
money, 'cause
directly
they
from the IDA.
Spent a lot of money on that new building and it looks great.
Yeah. But if the new hotel goes up along the waterfront, it'd be nice to see something else happen there with the old building.
Sounds like a parking lot for the hotel to me.
Something. Yeah,
Sounds like
I
Bruce
don't
will
know.
buy that property probably.
It could be. Maybe that.
Mhm.
Clean it all up and all that.
I was just curious if they had done anything or.
I'm not aware of any plans
Okay.
as of right now for their old site.
And that's all I have for you. this
Okay.
month.
Any other questions for Dave?
Yeah, you were talking about data centers. Have you studied the data center going across the lake maybe? Down
Well,
there?
we could certainly look into that. There's one in Geneva,
Because
Well,
the county
cool.
board voted no on that,
It's going in Lansing.
Lansing, yeah.
Okay.
which affects the Cuba Lake with sucking all the water out.
And the problem is they wanna draw water out of the lake.
Yeah.
And people are
and put it
worried
back.
that it's gonna up the temperature of the water and
Mhm.
pollute it, so.
Right, and we already have the HABs, the algal blooms and things like that. I mean, if we lose that, it's a very important resource to protect, absolutely, not just environmentally, but like economically. You know, if the water becomes
And they have-
toxic, so to speak.
And they have the potential to raise our electric rates because they're gonna be taking up so much
Right.
electricity out of the
Right.
pool that we have. So-
Yeah, these things are just gobbling up energy.
Oh.
And-
Didn't I hear on that, Bob, that it is an old generating plant there,
Yeah.
and they will use only the electricity that was
They used
not
to use
being made
coal,
in-
they used to use coal,
coal?
but
Okay,
then they went to natural gas and they shut it down.
okay.
But they weren't using as much electricity at the data center plans on using, so.
Oh, they'll need more.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a statewide problem,
Yes.
with the energy.
Yeah.
Nationwide, probably global, you know, everybody's having the same problem.
Okay, any other business?
Mhm. No,
All right, do we need an executive session?
no, we do not.
We don't need an executive session, good. All right, so I need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
And
Second.
Steve, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion- Meeting's over.
I wanted to go into executive session so we could get the gossip.
I'll prepare for next time.
All right, so we need, Marie and Jeff and Bob to stick around, Bob Kernan. Everybody else is free to go. You're also welcome to stay if you would like. We have a EDC and then a funding court meeting. And you don't have to serve on those anymore, Ralph.
I can leave.
You can leave. Marie got appointed to fill your spot, so.
Perfect.
Jeff is chairing the EDC meeting today, so take it away, Jeff.
Okay, let's, it's 9:37, let's open the EDC meeting up. We'll start with approval of the EDC meeting minutes of December 9th, 2025. So could I take a motion to approve those?
Motion?
And I'll second. All right. I guess, any question, Marie? I know you weren't at that meeting, but, okay. All in favor? Say aye. Aye. All right, any opposed? Carried. All right. We'll move on to the review and approval of the 2025 EDC audit, the management letter, and the posting to Paris.
Yeah, Bob, do you wanna talk through the EDC audit?
Sure. Again, looking at the independent auditor's report, as the opinion is identical to what was provided for the IDA, referred to as a non-qualified opinion. The statements as follows: the statement of financial position, again, this is as of December 2025, with a comparison to December 2024. Current assets, cash and equivalents, 106,170.42, compared to 117,142 for the prior year. Total current assets are equal to those totals, and assets are equal to those totals. The net assets, without donor restriction, 106,142, compared to 117,142 the previous year. Total net assets, same total. Total liabilities, net assets, 106,142. The statement of activities and changes in net assets, revenues and other support, interest income, $45. Total support $45, expenses $11,045, total expenses $11,045, change in the net assets $11,000, that's the difference between revenue and expense. The net assets at the beginning of the year, 117,142. When you filter in the change in net assets, the ending net asset total for 2025 is 106,142. That compares to 117,142 for the previous year. The statement of functional expenses. It's broken down into two categories: program services and supporting revenues, management and general. The overall total is insurance of $2,145, operating supplies and equipment $50, professional fees $8,850. Total for the year $11,045. If I compare that to the previous year, previous year's total was $15,237. And the major difference there is relating to professional fees for the period. Statement of cash flows. Cash flows from operating activities were negative $11,000. for 2025. Net cash used by operating for is $11,000 again. Total cash equivalents $11,000 minus. The beginning cash position was $117,142. Filter in the activity for the year, end up with a balance, net cash of $106,142. Comparing that to the previous year of $117,142. Those are basically the numbers for the period. The statement notes are included in the packet. Let's see. No internal control issues. No recommendations, again, so from internal control issue, there's no problems.
I will take a motion to approve our EDC audit management letter and post-its. I will second it. Thank you, Marie. All right, I think we're gonna do a roll call for this, right?
Mr. Shipley,
Yes,
Ms. Weiss,
Yes.
Mr. Murray, absent, motion carried.
thank you. All right, we'll move on to the approval of the ABO measurement report, similar, I guess, to the other one, right?
Yep, it is very similar. Again, so this has the EDC's mission statement. Really, the key difference here is the 2025 measurements. So EDC, as you all know, doesn't have much activity. That's why we're looking at getting rid of it. Our measurement is anecdotal instances of collaboration with local government as of right now. There are no projects we did have in the past, the cemetery, we've had some leasing of property that we used to do, and then we've had pass-through grants in the past that we've administered. As far as the self-evaluation of the prior year's performance, we have here Seneca County EDC continued a collaborative process with Seneca County government and business leaders for the redevelopment of Seneca County. Again, obviously very generic. The governance certification is more or less the same as the IDA, so I'm not really gonna read through each point there, but again, it's just to reiterate the board oversees management of the authority, appoints management of the authority, and helps provide oversight and strategy.
Okay, I need one last motion, Marie.
Made motion.
All right, that's a motion to approve the ABO measurement report. I'll second that motion. Any last questions or discussion items on this? No. Okay, hearing none, I'll take a vote. All those to approve, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it. So we are on to other business. No other business to come before. I don't believe we have an executive session consideration, so we will move right on to adjournment. So can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
And I'll second that. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Carried. Thank you.
All right, and then the funding corp is Bob Kernan and Marie, and Bob will be chairing this one.
Thank you. The first item on the agenda is approval of the meeting minutes of December 9th, 2025. I would accept the motion to approve those minutes.
Motion.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Next item is the approval of the 2025 audit management letter. I'll go through that. Again, we have an opinion, it's a unqualified opinion, similar to the IDA and EDC. Looking at numbers, the net position, which is shown on page 5, assets, cash, $18,643. That compares to $42,190 for the previous year. Our total net position, 18,643 for year-end '25, compared to 42,190 for year-end 2024. Changes in net position, there's no income. Operating expenses, professional fees, $34.50. Insurance expense, $1,900. Total operating expenses, $5,350. There was a net loss for the period of 2025 of $5,350. Non-operating revenues, interest income, $1,803. The net position at the beginning of the year was $42,190. Net position at the end of the year was $43,993. Again, statement of net position on page 6. Total assets, $38,643. Net position, $38,643. That compares to $42,190 for the previous period. The page number 7. In this case, operating expenses in total $53.50 for 2025, compared to $51,140 for 2024. Net operating loss of $5,350 for 2025, $5,140 for 2024. Interest income, $1,803. The net position beginning of the year, $42,190. Ending position is $38,643. The statement of cash flows is page number 8. Cash flows from operating activities is a negative $5,350. Cash flows from investing activities, $1,803. The net decrease in cash for the period, $3,547. The cash position at the beginning of the year, $40,190. Cash position end of year, $38,643. Cash position from operating activities, $5,350. Net cash used by operating activities, $5,350. That is the final summary of, again, of the significant statements for the period. There's no issues with internal controls, and unless there are questions regarding the statements, that's.
There's one thing I noticed that is incorrect in here, so I just wanna point it out that we'll have the auditors make the change. On page 5, the net position end of the year for 2025 is not
That's
summed up correctly. It
Yeah,
should be
I agree with that.
$38,643. For some reason, they did not take out the net operating loss and only added in
That's-
the
I was gonna ask that
non-operating
question.
revenue. So we'll get that clerical error fixed.
yeah.
Just wanna point that out before you all do your approval, so you can do it, contingent on that change being made. And the other thing I'll point out is obviously our interest income for the funding corp is higher than, it was in 2024 when it was non-existent. That's because we did open a CD through the funding corp just to provide some revenue coming in. So that offset the expenses a little bit.
Would accept the report to approve the 2025 audit. Accept it. Is there a second?
So, second?
All in favor?
Aye?
Does that require a voice vote?
Ms. Weiss,
Yes.
Mr. Kernan,
Yes.
Mr. Murray, absent, motion carried.
Let's see here. The ABO measurement report.
So the main differences are obviously the mission statement of the funding corp, which just as a refresher is a conduit financing entity for civic facilities. Our 2025 measurements are the issue of tax exempt debt as a conduit issuer to meet the needs of nonprofit and for-profit enterprises in Seneca County as required. As you're both aware, the only project that the Funding Corp has ever done was a bond project for, it was the Chiropractic College at the time, and then became Northeast College of Health Sciences. There were no bonds issued during 2025. Everything else is more or less the same.
Mhm.
Are there any questions?
I would accept a motion to approve the ABO management report.
You want a second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there any other old business? If not, any consideration for executive session? None?
No.
I would accept a motion to adjourn.
Motion?
Is that a second? Meeting adjourned.